Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United transfer news. We've got quite a few things to discuss. Potentially Dalot leaving Manchester United. That came out this morning. Pogba, big week for him. Will he push the exit from Manchester United? But we're going to start off with the deal that I think everybody is probably most excited about, certainly on this channel, and that is Bruno Fernandes to Manchester United. Now, Record, who are in Portugal, have said that this deal is now accelerating from Manchester United's side. There is no mention of everybody else now. We've had this for a couple of days with Manchester United and Bruno Fernandes now, where there is no real mention of Spurs or Liverpool or Man City or Inter Milan or Juventus. It's looking like a clear run at it for Manchester United. So, look, we go on tour a week today. It is Sunday. We go on tour to Australia a week today. We'll be heading to Perth. So, that is quite interesting. It's interesting as well. I was talking to Simon Peach, who's a journalist this morning. Well, talking. We were messaging each other. And I said, have you got a nod on when the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer press conference will be? Because I was always sure that the first week we're back in training, he does a press conference at Carrington. But apparently, Simon was saying, no, that's not normal. That's not normal. He'd be very surprised if they did it before Perth. So the first we'll hear from Ollie could well be Perth. I was hoping we were going to hear this week. But in the absence of any, I suppose, concrete news from Manchester United, we'll obviously be seeing pictures and stuff like that. But this week, there is a feeling that Manchester United want to get 2 deals done before we get on that plane to Australia, which would mean a big week. And I'm going to be honest with you now and just say, if we get 2 deals done, fantabidozy, absolutely fantastic. But I feel we might just get 1 done. Bruno Fernandes is now back in Portugal. Manchester United have apparently been working on this deal for a long time, as I've said. I'm not going to repeat that again. And there is a feeling that United will accelerate this deal this week. Sporting Lisbon need money. Bruno Fernandes has got a release clause whereby if anyone offers over 35 million and they reject it, they have to pay 5 million, which is not what a club, they have to pay the player 5 million, which is not a club that's trying to make money will want to do that. This is a deal that Manchester United need to done. For me, it's the signing of the summer. I mean, it doesn't mean we won't make a better signing than Bruno Fernandes afterwards, but for me, it is the signing of the summer. United need to get this done. It appears that we've got a clear path at it now. And I would be massively excited if we get this deal done. I did see a foreign journalist who... It's interesting because I don't think he's reliable. I was talking to at Cynical Live on Twitter, who's a good lad actually, and we talk about transfers quite a bit. And we were both... I said to him, what do you think? And he was like, no, he used to be reliable, he's not now. I think it's Nicolas Guerra on Twitter. I may have pronounced it wrong. He's basically saying that Manchester United have made an offer of 35 million euros for Bruno Fernandes. I would be worried about that offer because it's too low. But then again, it wouldn't surprise me if Ed Woodward did go in too low. And I think you've got to be very careful with Bruno Fernandes because Daniel James, no real competition. Wan-Bissaka, no real competition. Bruno Fernandes, if we get this wrong, competition could be around the corner. He's not the sort of player... I don't necessarily think we've got a clear run at this deal. I think we will get the deal done, but I don't think we've got a clear run at it because he scored an amazing amount of goals last season. Forget about it being the Portuguese league, whatever. For a centre midfielder to score the amount of goals he scored last season and the assists, and he can score off both feet. He's a good dead ball specialist. He's quick. He's tenacious. He's creative. There should be a queue for a player like that. So United need to be swift. They need to get it done. I don't agree with this whole we're doing a deal at a time. I think what Manchester United are doing is they're announcing a deal at a time. They're doing the final bits of a deal at a time. But I think they're working on deals behind the scenes. So last week when we were on Wan-Bissaka, look, you can't get Wan-Bissaka done, then just ring up Sporting Lisbon and go, we're going to start now. There will have been things going on, like the groundwork will be done. And I think what maybe United are doing a deal at a time in relation to the finalisation of it. But look, I expect Bruno Fernandes' deal to be done this week. If it's going to be done, and I do think it's going to be done, I think it's going to be done this week. And I expect it to accelerate over this week. So let's wait and see what happens. Please do smash a like on the video, everyone. The Rossinator says how to sponsor iOS. I don't know what you're on about, mate. Are you and Flex coming down under? Says Renegade Time Lord. Oh, that's what she said. Gangbang. No, we will be on the tour. The United Stand will be on tour, yeah. And how about the right wing, says Malcolm Wabwil. Well, interesting, Malcolm. We will bring that in because there was a story this morning. I think it was it James Jackson or somebody will tell me, James Robson, saying that basically that Diogo Dalot has been told that he's surplus to requirements and that he may need to go. Well, I'd be very, very surprised. I'd be very, very surprised if Dalot is told to go, because the only reason I could think that is, and it does happen sometimes, and I wanted to get some people's opinion on this, because I'll put my hands up and say, at the start of this transfer window, if you'd said we were going to sign Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I would have been very, very happy. But I did say, and I won't be a hypocrite, that we needed a centre-back, 2 midfielders and a right winger before a right-back. They were the priority positions. But we've got a right-back now. No more Ashley Young. But Dalot was a player I actually had confidence in. We signed him at 19. I think he's 20 now. I think his build, his speed, his ability on the ball, he had the potential to be our right back for the next 10 years. Solskjaer disagrees. He's brought Wan-Bissaka in. And I like Wan-Bissaka, so I haven't got an issue with that. But where does it leave Dalot? We know he can play left back. Is he going to be a backup right back for a player that's 1 year older than him and there's development left in Wan-Bissaka? Is he going to be transformed into a right winger? Well, if he's going to be transformed into a right winger, I'd quite like him to be sold. I don't want Dalot to be our right winger. I want to sign a proper right winger. If he's going to be backup for right back and left back, then let's see what he can do, because he can play left back. So I would like Dalot to stay. The only thing I would say about this is you can get a manager who comes in and goes, I don't like that player. It's not my signing. I don't like that player. I don't see a future with me and that player. And to be honest with you, Dalot was a Mourinho signing. One of the very few young players that Mourinho's had bought in his career. But he was a Mourinho signing. And it might be that Ollie said, look, he's not the right back. Well, he has said that. He said to Ed Woodward, because Ed Woodward would have said, what about Dalot? We only bought him a year ago for 20 million. He's a right back. And Ollie's obviously said, he's not the right back for me. That's why we've spent 50 million on Wan-Bissaka. So that conversation's already been had. It's about the second part of that conversation. Well, if he's not the right back you need, is he good enough to be a backup? Do you want to use him as a left back or as a right winger? And Solskjaer might have said, well, no, not really. He's not the right back I need, and to be honest, I don't see him being the player I want. So we might move him out at some point. I don't think we'll move him out this summer. But it's interesting because if that's how we feel about Dalot, it could be the same as Fred, because Fred was a Mourinho signing. So we might see that. Lukaku, Mourinho signing. So we're already seeing... everyone says, oh, Solskjaer is a pussycat. I don't see that at all. I think he's a nice bloke with a very, intelligent and charismatic and, polite demeanour in public, and I commend him on that. But I think behind closed doors, he don't mess about. We've seen the clips of him training and stuff, shouting when he was at Mulder and things like that. And forcing Lukaku out, which is what's happening. He obviously knows what he's doing. 60 million for Bruno, says Lachlan Oberg. Yes, I think that would be about right, to be fair. I think that's probably about a right fee for him. Rants Mayweather, says Palmares Beats. I must mention it. I mean, if people don't follow me on Twitter, they're not going to know. At Mark Goldbridge, if you want to. So Rants had his fight last night against DT's son. 3 rounds of 2 minutes, and it was over in the second round. Absolutely dominated him. But in fairness to DT's son, I've said it before, fair play for him to get in the ring. I think he's only 18 years of age. Got in the ring to defend his dad's honour, really, and his family's honour against Rants. And, anybody would say that's a total mismatch, and it was. But fair play to Rants. I think Rants, to be fair, isn't getting the credit he deserves. I think everyone's going, oh, well, fair play to Kieran, DT's son, for getting in against all odds. Some would say, well, where's Rance's appreciation then? Because he had everything to lose. Me and Flex were joking, saying, you can't come on the United stand if you lose that fight, because you're going to get so much shit off DT. And he won it. And he won it the way he said he was going to win it, and the way everybody thought he was going to win it. But in a boxing match, you've got a boxing chance. Throw one punch, you might do some damage. So Rance has trained for that fight. Yes, it was won easily. Yes, he was the favourite, and yes, he won it. But I think he deserves a lot of credit for it, because being a favourite like that, you've got nothing to gain really and everything to lose. He wins that fight and everyone said, well, we expected it. So fair play to him. I think he's really, really well. I feel players are not motivated enough and coaches are responsible for it. Your opinion, love your show, Mark, says Sabtic. Last season, you're spot on. This is a new page. I mean, I feel quite excited. Tomorrow we've got the team back on pre-season. A week away from that, they go on tour, and then under 2 weeks, we're playing our first game, and then you've got games every few days until the start of the season. So football's back, everybody. Football is back, and that's got me buzzing. I'm excited. But you're right, Saptak, you're right. We do need to see an improvement from Manchester United players over the next few months. Any truth to the Jacob Brun-Larsen rumours, says Jonas Hedgaard. I'll probably cover that on Transfer Daily tomorrow, Jacob, because I need to read a little bit more into that, to be honest with you. I'm waiting to hear back on a couple of things. Josef says, Mark Miguel Almiron is an amazing, pacey and workaholic player who can play on the wing. I think we should be bid for him. I'm a huge fan from Atlanta, Georgia, by the way. Well, Josef, your shouts on the right winger are as good as anybody else's at the moment. So, look, as long as we sign a right winger, I'll be very, very happy. The big week for Manchester United for me is Paul Pogba. There's another story today from AS, saying that, which is a Spanish outlet, saying that Pogba is desperate to leave Manchester United. What a week this is going to be. If there isn't going to be an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer press conference this week, he's not going to get asked that direct question this week about Pogba, which is a shame because I'd like to know. But what's going to happen tomorrow is Paul Pogba's going to be in training with Manchester United and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and they're going to have that discussion. So this week, keep your eyes and ears. I mean, I think this is a massive week anyway. You know, we do Transfer Daily at 7 a.m. We'll go live in the day if there's anything, and 8 o'clock every night. So make sure you're subscribed, get involved with the channel, because I think this week's going to be really big. Transfer stories, when you're on a tour of Asia and you say, I want a new challenge, that's all fine and well and it's interesting. But when you got the players back at Carrington, this is where it happens. Lukaku's probably back at Carrington tomorrow as well. Pogba's back at Carrington tomorrow. What is the outcome of that? Can they get Pogba to stay? Will he force a move? Have Real Madrid said, look, we've got the 150 million, or Juventus? The story is that Pogba's desperate to go. He wants to go to Real Madrid, but he'd even consider going to Juventus if he can't go to Real Madrid to get out of Manchester United. Now, if that's true, I think my initial opinion a few weeks ago when this came out was sell him. You don't want players like that at the club. However, we've not signed a midfielder yet, and we needed 2, even if Pogba stays. If Pogba goes, I think you need 4 midfielders, because I don't think there's a player out there that we can replace Pogba with. Unless you're going to get, you know, a Kevin De Bruyne or someone like that, you're not going to get a replacement for Pogba. So you'd need 2, which means you need 4 midfielders and to sell Pogba. I think it's hard for United to do that. Very hard to do that. I think if Pogba stays, we'll bring in Longstaff and Bruno Fernandes, which will improve the midfield. If Pogba goes, you bring in Longstaff and Bruno Fernandes, and you probably need to bring a Tielemans and another midfielder in as well, which in the time we've got left is very difficult. So I think what United need to do here, and I don't know what you think, I think what United need to do is speak to Paul Pogba this week and say, look, totally have got no issue with you leaving Manchester United, but we can't allow it this summer. We'll do what we did with Ronaldo. Give us a season, and we will definitely let you go next year. And that's sort of what Hazard did at Chelsea as well. Give us this season, give it everything that you've got, and we will let you go next year. Because that means we get Pogba for a season. We can work on a replacement next summer. We benefit from that. He gets the move he wants. That's probably the way to do it. Because I think if he walks out this summer and forces a move, it's going to cause a massive issue for us. I want him to go. I want Pogba to go because he basically wants to go. So I don't want a player like that. But I think the best thing for us, and we did do it with Ronaldo, just give us a year. Give us everything you've got, and we will honour letting you go next year, and we'll let you go for a fair price. That's what I would do. I'm a subscriber since August 2014. Your persistent work on this channel is remarkable. With 500 subscribers, we can donate, buy the club a player, the fans' choice, for 50, 100 million every 2 years. So safe 711. Well, we're not in talks to be. The United stand's not taking over Manchester United yet, but you know, those sort of ideas are good ideas, but it's just getting everyone together to do it. If every single Manchester United fan, of which there's millions and millions and millions of us, all put a tenner into an account, we'd create millions and millions and millions of pounds to buy our football club. But the problem is, as we saw yesterday with the Glazers out thing, I was getting attacked last night by United fans. And I'm like, okay, so I didn't think the protest yesterday was well planned, and now I'm getting attacked by United fans. And that's the problem, isn't it? We all support the same club, but there are people within that who will start arguing with each other. So we'll never have a coherent voice because there's too many people with too many fingers in different pies who want their own pie, and that's why things don't happen. You should all come together for the greater good. Longstaff is a BTEC Ghana. This is Mohammed Alam. Mark, what about Mason Greenwood getting a chance at right wing next season, says Elliot Yu. I think he could play there, but I think that would be a real big shame because I think he's got the potential to be England's best striker in the next 10 years. So I don't like what we did with Rashford, really. We started playing him on the left wing, and he was a striker. And I think that's cost his development a bit. Rohan Anderson, thanks for the contribution. Recap, please, says Mini Smalka. Well, we're still halfway through, Mini, but basically, Portuguese reports today from Record saying that Manchester United are accelerating their bid to sign Bruno Fernandes. Big week, big 5 days. I expect United to get this Bruno Fernandes deal done this week. And I expect Bruno Fernandes to be not at Sporting Lisbon this time next week. I'm not going to say Manchester United, you know I'm 80% sure, but you know what? The only thing that concerns me, Ed Woodward or whoever's doing the negotiating. Will they mess it up? So let's just see, but I think he will be gone from Sporting Lisbon in a week. That sounds good, Mark, but I don't trust Pogba to give all he's got. Doesn't anyway. Love him not. Well, that's a fair point from Tom. The second thing I was talking about was Dalot maybe being sold by Manchester United, which I think is odd. But then again, Solskjaer has sent a message that he doesn't trust him at right back by signing another young right back in Wan-Bissaka. And Pogba, big week for Pogba. What will he do? Will he force the move by being adamant that he wants to go, or will he agree to stay at United for another year? I think the worst thing we could do with Pogba is the rumour that was going around a couple of weeks, give him £500,000 a week to sign a new contract. That's the worst thing we can do. The end game in this has got to be Pogba leaving Manchester United. But it doesn't have to be this summer. It could be next summer, and that gives us time to rebuild. That's the best option. What we shouldn't do is give him a new contract, because that's rewarding somebody who said they want to leave the club. Lachlan Oberg, do we have a chance for Icardi? We do, if we want to take him as part of the... I'll tell you what, I just want to say, I don't know whether you lot are feeling this, but I this morning I've been quite busy, not really been talking about football. But now I'm live with you lot and we're talking about stuff, and I know pre-season starts tomorrow, and I know we're going on tour in a week, and I know we're getting closer and closer to the new season and the Premier League transfer window closing. I'm buzzing. I feel really excited. Now, of course, they'll destroy that buzz, but I do feel excited because now Solskjaer's got the players back together. They're not on holiday leaking stuff. They're together. The leaks we get now are going to be pretty reliable, and also we've got to start doing some business, so I'm very excited about the week coming up. Really excited. Let's hope we can pull something off. The man led the team in every category, yet he doesn't give his all, says Moada. I mean, I take it you're talking about Paul Pogba there. You're obviously a Paul Pogba fan, Moada, but I watched Pogba every game last season. Terrible start to the season, really brilliant 3 months when Solskjaer came in, and crap end to the season. So he didn't lead the team last season at all. The problem with United is nobody leads that team, and if you say Paul Pogba led that team, he only did it for 30% of the season. That's facts. Yes, his stats were very good. Got a lot of goals, got a lot of assists, but he didn't play that many. He didn't play that well for even half of the season. So he wasn't even considered to be Player of the Year. It was Lindelof or Luke Shaw. So you can be a fan, but I think you need to open your eyes up. Paul Pogba and consistency at United have not been delivered, and there are reasons for that. And I like Pogba, but let's not pretend he was Mr. Motivator last season and he was the leader of the team, because he wasn't. What else do I want to talk about? John McGinn. I can't believe I haven't spoken about John McGinn. You're going to say, who is John McGinn? So he's a 24-year-old midfielder for Aston Villa. The Sun came out this morning saying that Manchester United are interested in signing him for £50 million. This concerns me because John McGinn was a very good midfielder in the Championship last season. Daniel James was a very good winger in the Championship last season. What are we trying to win this season? Are we trying to get in the top 4 for Champions League, or do we think we're trying to get in the bloody playoffs in the Championship? It's in the Sun and it's not from Neil Custis, so I think it's a load of bollocks anyway. But why would we be signing a 24-year-old midfielder from the Championship when we've just bought Daniel James from the Championship? They're both too risky. And also, John McGinn's a good player, by the way. I live in the Midlands and I know Villa fans, and they really like him and they don't want to sell him. But even in their heart of hearts, they know he's not a top four midfielder. He's certainly not a £50 million midfielder, and he's certainly not what Manchester United need to be looking at. So I think it's a load of nonsense, but you never know. Peter Abate says, here's a new hashtag Pogbasta. Basta means enough in Italian. I'm sick and tired seeing news of him. I'm a Juve fan, but this needs to end soon. I think it will end this week with Pogba, which is good, one way or another. And Lachlan Oberg, your honest opinion, do you think we will keep Pogba? Look, when we came into this summer transfer window, there was a general consensus that Paul Pogba was going to stay and David De Gea was going to go. I think Paul Pogba's more likely to go and De Gea will stay. And I've said that for a while now. So I think Pogba's going to go? If he forces the move, he will go. If he agrees to stay for another year, he will stay. And also, it depends whether Real Madrid or Juventus can actually afford him. So I think De Gea is going to sign a new contract in August. And I think Pogba, I'm 50-50 at the moment. But I think he's more likely to go. Sell Young, Jones and Smalling, says Fraser Campbell. Well, the other player that was mentioned in relation to Diogo Dalot was Marcus Rojo, who I think definitely has to go. What's the story with the centre-back, says Rocco? I mean, with the centre-back, it's very difficult because I spoke about Pogba forcing a move there. I really do think that if Koulibaly forces a move, we can get Koulibaly, and that's what we should go for. I think we're looking at Harry Maguire, and I think the difference between Koulibaly and Harry Maguire is massive. If you buy Koulibaly or you buy Harry Maguire, the confidence I will have in that back four in signing Koulibaly compared to Harry Maguire is just poles apart. However, Harry Maguire is better than everything that we've got, so it wouldn't be a bad signing. I feel that we're focusing on Harry Maguire. That's what I feel. Dazo W, I'm positive for next season. Top 4 easy. Pogba stays a year. He will play good because of Euro 2020, says Dazo W. I think our chances of top 4 are better if we keep him. A lot of people talking about Ziyech. I don't actually know why. I think it's just a love-in for Ziyech. Alex Murphy says Ziyech, please. He's available for about 25 million. He's a right winger. He's hard-working. He knows the press. He can score goals and create goals. I think he'd be perfect at the price he is. My preference is Hirving Lozano. There are right wingers out there. There are right wingers out there that we can get. There's 3 straight away that want to move and would improve us. Ziyech, Pepe, Lozano. All 3 of them want to move. All 3 of them are in their early 20s. And all 3 of them are way better than anything we've got. So, yeah, I would agree with you on Ziyech. I would also agree with Lozano or Pepe. But Maguire is a B-Tech centre-back compared to the world's elite. Let's be honest, says Jamie. I mean, I did say something about comparing Maguire to De Ligt, and I don't think there's a lot of difference with them at the moment. I think there will be in probably 2 or 3 years' time because De Ligt's only 19. But Harry Maguire, I think he gets a lot of stick, but I very rarely see him make a mistake, whether it's for England or Leicester. He's very good in the air. He's good at bringing the ball out from the back, which means he's better than most of our centre-backs, and that's what we've got to improve on. Is he worth over £70 million? No, but Leicester will think he is because that's what Van Dijk cost when he was bought from Southampton. Do you think keeping McTominay and playing him is better than getting Longstaff, says Covert Luter? It's going to be an interesting season for Scott McTominay. I think we need to see big improvement from him, and I think we might do. I'm not sold on Scott McTominay. I never have been. I don't see what everybody sees in him. I know he improved last season, but I still don't think he's good enough. However, he's at that age now where I think he's coming up for 23 this season. If he is going to be a United first teamer, he needs to start playing really, really well. He's consistent, but I think we need to see more from him. So let's see. Do you actually think we will get a centre-back, says Lachlan Oberg? Yeah, I think we're going to get a centre-back, 2 midfielders, and then I don't know about... I think 3 more signings are coming. 2 midfielders and a centre-back. Right winger, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that. I don't know why we wouldn't get a right winger, because there are players out there for reasonable prices. But I do think we'll get 2 midfielders and a centre-back. I mean, if you said to me, you're going to sign Koulibaly, Bruno Fernandes, Sean Longstaff and Hirving Lozano. Of course I've got concerns about Longstaff. I said them last night. But those 3, Lozano, Bruno Fernandes and Koulibaly, on top of Wan-Bissaka, that is a very good summer. A very, very good summer. And Lozano, like I said, it could be Ziyech or Pepe, but it'd still be a very good summer. It really, really would. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. We've had a steady 10,000 watching, which is fantastic on a Sunday lunchtime. I'm off to watch the Formula 1. I think it's going to be a good one. The cricket's ongoing as well. The sun is shining, and we will be back at 8 o'clock tonight. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, bottom right-hand corner. Get your notifications on. I think it's going to be a very, very big week for Manchester United in relation to news in general, involving ins and outs. And yeah, thanks everyone. Really good comments. I'll speak to you all soon. We need a right winger urgently, and why are we not going for Dembele? Says Naim El Haig. Well, it's right at the end of the show. It's a super chat, so I'm going to answer it. Apparently, Dembele wanted to go to London, and Pochettino sold him a better option than United, which isn't hard when they've got Champions League football in London, and we're in Manchester, and we've got the Europa League. Thanks for watching. Speak to you all soon. Smash us a like, and I'll see you at 8 o'clock tonight, live.